Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull, your host. Today we're talking about industrial real estate. Please welcome my next guest, Alan Buchanan. He is with Lee & Associates. He's an active industrial broker in Los Angeles and the West Coast markets. Alan, thanks for joining us today on Skype.
I'm honored, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Well, we sure appreciate it. So I'd like to start out with what's happening in the industrial sector out on the West Coast.
Well, in a word, it is extraordinary. We have seen activity that frankly has rivaled the peak of 2007 for us. We're seeing a tremendous amount of lease and sale activity. I have one particular client that I do some national work for and just completed a deal in the Seattle area, in the Portland area, and then currently working on one in the Phoenix area. And I would say that all four of those West Coast cities, including my Orange County area, are very, very vibrant, very, very much a seller's and a landlord's market today.
So how is that impacting rental rates and occupancy levels in those markets?
Give you a real quick example. We had seen lease rates that had not met sale price increases until very recently. I would say in the last 6 months, we've seen a dramatic increase in lease rates. I just renewed a client that I did a deal with in 2012. 2012 was sort of our bottom before things really started turning around to the positive. We just renewed his lease at a 30% increase. And the guy about choked on his hot dog when we told him that, but fortunately it was not as bad as it could have been because frankly the market could have dictated up to 50% increase. So we're seeing that anyone that signed a lease in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, who's coming up for renewal in 2015, is really having a rude awakening.
Okay, and how's that impacting new supply? Are you seeing a lot of new construction starting now?
You know, we're not. We've seen a bit, but our issue in the infill markets of Orange and Los Angeles counties, we don't have any vacant land. Mm-hmm. And so our pricing for existing obsolete buildings has not declined to the point where it makes sense to buy them and scrape them and build new.
Give us some sample rental rates for your market there.
Sure. So if we chose a 100,000 square foot dock high distribution building, 24 to 30 clear, 120 foot truck turning radius, ESFR or ESFR equivalent sprinklers, you're looking at somewhere between 48 triple net and 55 triple net today. And I know you all talk in terms of annual rental rates, but you can do that math. I've never been that quick.
That's great. So how's that impacting cap rates in those markets? I guess you guys have some of the lowest cap rates for industrial properties in the country, don't you?
We do. For a Class A credit tenant type deal on that 100,000 foot box I just described, our cap rates are approaching 4.5%. For something that has a little bit more hair on it, you can see cap rates nudging up around 6 to 6.5%. But when I say hair on them, that's pretty significant hair. There's some functional obsolescence or a dramatically lower than market lease rate or what have you.
Okay. And how about the state of California? We hear you guys have lost some larger companies. How's that impacting the market? What's really happening there?
You know, we have. And my book of business typically is an owner-occupant between 10 and 100,000 square feet. I have only now started to hear occupants in that size range say they're considering a move out of state. Certainly you hear about the big employers like Toyota that just relocated, or is in the process, I should say, of relocating to Plano, Texas. But it's on folks' minds because our compliance regulations are so difficult here. And we have that old W word out here, and that's not for George W. Bush, that's for water. Water is becoming a big, big issue here, and I'm paying close attention to how that's going to affect common area maintenance charges for tenants and multi-tenant type projects.
And so is the drought there impacting the market that much? I mean, are some companies maybe deciding to stay away?
It's impacting the market because it limits the amount of new development that can occur. I mentioned Los Angeles, Orange County, very little vacant land, where a vast majority of our new construction is taking place is in the inland areas. And the inland areas such as Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, what have you, those are really dramatically affected by new water starts. It's also affected residential construction, which means the existing housing base is becoming more and more expensive.
That's interesting. So I guess that's improved even the smaller buildings in your market.
Correct, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've started to see some creative landscaping solutions where folks are stripping out grass and shrubs that require water, and they're putting in more of the desert Southwest look, which frankly I think is pretty neat.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, give me some palm trees and cactus, right? Well, stay tuned. We're going to do another segment with Alan. We're going to look at some tips for landlords and investors, and we're going to look at some tenant strategies and tips for your business. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty Commercial Advisors, a great place to do business. Visit bullrealty.com. RealNex, a comprehensive and powerful suite of commercial real estate tools at an incredibly low price. Visit realnex.com. That's REALNEX. Xceligent, the resource professionals use for commercial real estate information. Visit xceligent.com. That's XCELIGENT. Commercial Search, the source to market and source available properties for sale or lease. Visit commercialsearch.com. For more information on these great companies or for additional videos, podcasts, or articles, visit CREshow.com.